fastest adoption of any asset class or technology the world has ever seen. Technology side's just been beaten by AI, just because Microsoft and other things can install it everywhere instantly. But it's massive because it is an asset, and AI is not an asset. So if you just extrapolate that chart, you get to 1 billion users by the end of 2025 and 4 billion by the end of 2030. Okay, that's half the world. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, you can also take the log chart of Bitcoin and just extrapolate out into the future, and you can see the trend rate of growth, the exponential trend over time. So it gets to somewhere like $1 million, and what happens is the space goes from 2.5 trillion, where it is today, to, let's say at the end of this cycle, 10 trillion, maybe 12, maybe 15, depending what the cycle's like, and then on to 100 trillion, which is the size of most of the other asset classes like equities.
Raoul Pal, a macro analyst known for his insightful opinions on macroeconomic trends, recently shared his thoughts on the potential growth trajectory of the cryptocurrency market. Paul's analysis, which he calls the Everything Code, explores how the global liquidity cycle since 2008 has influenced macroeconomic trends and propelled growth assets, including tech stocks and cryptocurrencies, toward new heights. The idea is that the depreciation of fiat currency, driven by increased liquidity needed to meet debt obligations, acts as a catalyst for rising asset prices. He suggests that this phenomenon, coupled with the rapid adoption of cryptocurrencies similar to the exponential growth of the internet, could pave the way for a significant increase in the market capitalization of cryptocurrencies. Powell predicts meteoric growth from $2.5 trillion to $100 trillion, buoyed by Metcalfe's law and fueled by unprecedented levels of adoption. He said the cryptocurrency market could see significant growth, reaching $10 trillion in the short term and skyrocketing to $100 trillion in the future. Powell enthusiastically agreed that there is a consensus among some sectors of the financial community about the transformative potential of cryptocurrencies. According to Raoul Pal, you only need a top coin like Solana to turn your 10K into high six figures in this bull cycle. If you want to stay updated with the latest crypto events and news, you can subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now let's get back to the Raoul Pal's view on Solana.
Most people, I can see it already scared of the down cycle to come because they've all got PTSD of the last one. But if you want to go to the OGs of this space, the Dan Moorheads, the Wences Caceres, all of these guys, the movement from 2.5 trillion to 10 trillion to 100 trillion is to own the highest quality assets and do nothing. Now, the proven assets keep trending. If I look at the compound rate of growth, the annualized rate of growth, Bitcoin's 150%, ETH since 2012, ETH is 180, about 160, 70%, something like that, since 2015, 16. And that's per year. I mean, this is bananas returns. And then Solana's like 200. And that was a snapshot in February before. I mean, many of these aren't at all-time highs yet. So the returns from just owning the top assets is so good. Now, I also understand that a lot of people may only have 10 grand worth of savings. So they think, well, even if Bitcoin goes to 1 million, that's a 14x. So I've got 140 grand. Can that even get me a deposit on a house? Is that a retirement saving? I get it. So people really want to take more risk, but just do it intelligently.
This is the fastest adoption of an asset class or technology the world has ever seen. The technology aspect has been overtaken by AI because Microsoft and others can install it anywhere, instantly. But it's huge because it's an asset and AI is not an asset. It will reach 1 billion users by the end of 2025 and 4 billion by the end of 2030. Bitcoin reaches around $1 million. And what's happening in space is going from 2.5 trillion today to 10 trillion at the end of this cycle. The S&P 500 is hitting new all-time highs. At the same time, Bitcoin is hitting new all-time highs, creating an interesting dilemma for investors. The idea that Bitcoin might be a better long-term investment than the S&P 500 may be controversial, but let's consider the evidence. Kathy Wood of ARK Invest recently compared the price of performance of Bitcoin to that of 6 other major asset classes: gold, commodities, real estate, bonds, stocks, and emerging markets, over different time horizons going back 7 years. To say that Bitcoin has outperformed these other asset classes over the past 7 years would be an understatement. Over this 7-year period, Bitcoin's annualized returns reached a staggering 44%. Between 2011 and 2021, Bitcoin was the best performing asset in the world, and it wasn't even close. Bitcoin has generated annualized returns of 230%, while the S&P has generated annualized returns of 14%. This move from 2.5 billion to 10 or 100 billion corresponds to trade, and it turns out it's also the largest and fastest accumulation of wealth the world has ever seen. No one has ever seen anything like this before. That's the equivalent of the whole baby boom generation getting into financialization, buying stocks, and that sort of thing. To put things in perspective, at $100 trillion, the S&P 500 took 100 years to accumulate a value of $50 trillion. And we'll do it in less than 20. If you divide an asset by crypto, an individual asset on Earth, their price goes down compared to owning Bitcoins. Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki expressed his bullish outlook for 3 cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. Kiyosaki predicted that the price of Bitcoin would reach $350,000 in August, emphasizing that this figure is speculative and simply a prediction, not a misleading claim. His confidence is largely influenced by what he perceives as the incompetence of American leaders. Going from 2.5 trillion to 10 trillion to 100 trillion is like owning the highest quality assets and doing nothing. Today, proven assets continue to be trendy. Bitcoin's annualized growth rate has been 150% since 2012. Ethereum is around 160, 170%, or something like that from 2015 to 2016. So Solana is around 200. He generally focuses on Bitcoin as well as gold and silver, and has also previously mentioned Ethereum and Solana.
It's so easy to get caught up in the drama, the volatility, the down cycles, then the glory times. You forget what's actually happening. And, kind of in the end, every single, major crypto position you've ever sold, you regret when you look back. Because if you divide any asset by crypto, any single asset on Earth, they all go down in price versus owning Bitcoin, or you choose your asset, right? And it's like, once you realize that, it's really difficult to get that out of your head. And so it, to me, became a realization over time from about 2020 onwards that there was no point doing anything else. Even though I'm a true macro guy and I used to do absolutely everything else, I now observe what the dollar's doing and stuff like that, but only within the context of where it's going with crypto.
Solana has been trading sideways for 3 weeks amid broader market consolidation. The fact that Solana's price is developing an upward continuation trend, along with the resumption of on-chain activity, hints at the potential for an extended rally. The long-term trend of the Solana coin has turned bullish, as it has almost recovered the entire loss caused by the FTX collapse. Solana price is now experiencing a steady rise under the influence of an ascending trend line. In May, the Solana blockchain saw the creation of 455,000 tokens, driven by lowering barriers to end the aspiration to develop successful meme coins. Throughout the year, Solana saw the launch of approximately 1.1 million new tokens, highlighting a strong trend in token generalization on the platform. Solana coin shows great potential for future growth and is well positioned to excel the expected bull run. With the market cap of cryptocurrencies expected to reach $5 trillion, most major cryptocurrencies are likely to reach new highs. Solana in particular shows promising prospects and aims to get closer to the 10K mark.